Greetings to viewers, JLB here. I'm here today with a very special video about my petition on change.org. I gotta say, it's pretty good news, so without further ado, let's get into it. For most of the 216 people that signed my petition and show that they care about the old shows that they grew up with on Nickelodeon's programming branch for younger viewers, I just want to say thanks a lot, you guys. You guys are really giving me all the support I need. Secondly, I recently reached out to NBC News to see if they could be able to hopefully get a little bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? Insight. Get a little insight on my petition and what goals I'm trying to accomplish. And also, it seems to me that the negligence that Nickelodeon and Viacom show for their older shows clearly goes all the way into the present, because they're not showing love to many of their other less popular shows. I mean, they may be less popular, but just because they're not as popular as some of the big-time names that they have doesn't mean that they should be completely forgotten about. And I say that in a way because there are many shows that ain't getting as much love as they used to. For example, the show Little Bill, it may have ended years ago, but many people still remember watching some episodes of it, myself included. I do remember watching a few episodes of Little Bill, but the thing is, not very many people discuss it. I mean, why, per se? I mean, it teaches kids how to handle family dynamics as well as their social and emotional skills. But I kind of see why Nickelodeon wouldn't want to air reruns of the show because of all the what's the word I'm looking for? Uncertainties that have been involving the creator of Little Bill, Bill Cosby. With all the legal trouble he's been in, they probably want to distance themselves away from all the controversy. But I don't really think that should be the case. I think Mr. Cosby's work should be embraced. All the good things that he's done for the world. I mean, he's called America's dad for a reason. And besides, everyone knows that Bill Cosby is probably one of the most positive influences that a child in the 70s had, due to watching the show Fat Albert. And kids in the early 2000s, well, they had the same experience, but with Little Bill. So I don't really see why Bill Cosby's work should ever be forgotten. I mean, I don't care what people say. I don't care what people think about Bill Cosby. He was still a good man. And personally, I think his work on Little Bill should be revived for the children of today. So that I really think should actually see the light of day again in the US, even though a reboot of it might not be possible, is Lazy Town. I mean, people my age remember Lazy Town because of all the vibrant colors, the hero, Sporticus, and the villain, Robbie Run, played by the late great Stephen Carl. But whatever the case, I know a reboot might not be possible without the entire cast. But at least reruns of the show should be aired on Nickelodeon in the mornings or on Nick Jr. channel. After all, I have seen a public service announcement commercial featuring a kid who's too lazy to get up and walk his own dog, or too lazy to walk down to the kitchen and get a grape soda, which is why he calls his grandma to do it, proving that he's too lazy to do anything. No offense, of course. But the thing is, personally, I think re-airings of the show Lazy Town could easily solve this sort of issue. After all, if kids are getting a little bit on the lazy side of things, then it's possible that re-airings of Lazy Town should convince them to try and work on a healthy lifestyle and get up and get moving. And there's another show that I really, really do enjoy watching from time to time, ever since I was a kid, The Backyardigans. Personally, I really love that show because it it features ways kids can use their imagination, and it shows that kids can get into music and dance traditions. Some kids, but not all. Now, I don't really see why, but for some reason, after this past October, if not September or August, Nickelodeon well, not just Nickelodeon, mostly Nick Jr., they stopped airing reruns of The Backyardigans. There's not even any episodes on demand anymore, which is really a shame because that show, it hit the mark with the music. I mean, go back and watch a couple episodes of Backyardigans, if you can find any that are on YouTube, which probably is unlikely because Treehouse is being a little bit greedy with their content. Mostly Backyardigans and Little Bear and etc., etc. Go back, find a full episode of Backyardigans, listen to the music, go to the Backyardigans wiki, look up that episode, find the music genre that they used for it, and you'll see that they actually made the music sound like the genre they chose. For example, in the episode It's Great to Be a Ghost, they actually had the music sound like that it was off of a 1920s blues record. That just proves that the show can be accepted by anyone, even someone as old as 20 like myself. And personally, I could go on and on about the shows of the past and how they should be brought back, but the main meat and potatoes that I want to get into is the fact that even the modern day shows that aired now, even in the 2010s, the shows that aired in the modern age that we're living in now, I mean, it just proves that Nickelodeon is being neglective about most of its shows. For example, the first season of Shimmer and Shine is pretty much forgotten about, just because the show jumped from 2D animation to 3D computer animation. While admittedly the jump into 3D made this series look a lot better, I don't think the first season should be just forgotten about. I mean, after all, Shimmer and Shine, along with Blaze and the Monster Machines, and so many others, are considered popular enough to warrant for more seasons. But that doesn't mean that the first season, whether it be Blaze and the Monster Machines, Bubble Guppy, Shimmer and Shine, Paw Patrol, doesn't matter. Just because the seasons that follow the first one are more popular doesn't mean that the first one should be forgotten. And speaking of forgotten, there's one show in particular that does not air on TV like it used to even after it ended. Wally Kazam. Personally, I really like that show. It's creative, it's innovative, and besides, how can you go wrong with a medieval-like setting for Wally Kazam? And besides, if it could teach a kid how to spell as great as, say for example, if you have a younger sibling and they're watching Wally Kazam and they learn to spell thanks to it, I don't think that show should be forgotten. I mean, multiple other kids can learn to spell just from watching some episodes of Wally Kazam alone. And also, one show that I think really shouldn't have ended its time in reruns is Zack and Quack. I saw my first episodes of the show. I loved it the minute I saw my first episode. I mean, it takes the concept of a pop-up book and takes it to a whole nother level. The characters come to life, the pop-ups are interesting. I mean, it is legitimately a show that I would show my little 5-year-old nephew. I'm serious. It's a show that I would be more than happy to show my younger relatives. Speaking of relatives, that's a point I made in an email that I sent to a representative of NBC. A relative of mine, an 8-year-old niece of mine, she never had the chance to watch shows like Blue's Clues, Team Umizoomi, Wally Kazam, any of the shows that aired at all. She never had a chance. Because her parents, I won't say who, but their parents just sit her in front of a television and just let her watch SpongeBob SquarePants ever since the day she became a toddler. If that doesn't sound fair, I don't know what is, because as far as I'm concerned, that particular show may be the longest running show that Nick has done since Rugrats, but it's not fit for an 8-year-old girl to watch and try and learn from. But with all that being said, just remember before I sign off, share my petition with your friends, family, coworkers, via any social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Send an email about it. Anything. Do anything you can to share my petition, so that way word of mouth, and it can spread not just by word of mouth, but by social media. Please, I'm begging you. If you haven't signed my petition yet, go to change.org and sign. If you have, and you want to see it get shared, then share it by any social media that you have. The children of America, no, the children of the world are depending on you. So please, sign. Go to change.org, sign, and let Viacom and Nickelodeon know you care. The children of the world are counting on it.